Good evening, NAST viewers. How is it going? Hope you are ready for Losers Round 1 today. And joining me on this cast is the wonderful and beautiful Frying Pan Man. And we are going to be casting for you Wand and Nothing Was Allowed. How you doing, Frying Pan Man?
Aw, how sweet. I'm doing amazing over here. Excited to get some more matches queued up here. And I'm also just very excited because I'd already seen Juan play previously, and I'm very interested to see how they do today, as well as how Nothing Was Allowed is going to perform here. I think it's going to be a very enticing game to keep it short. But we're
Mm-hmm.
also going to be moving into some pretty chaotic picks, it looks like. I mean, Taiko Temple is the first map currently queued up. Uh, very, very persistently damage heavy map with how you can work with the
Mm.
bouncers, but also just how you can easily red core and get it moving along. So a very fast moving map in the right team's hands.
Hey, if you can figure out how to make all of those drums work to your advantage better than the other team, it's just a great map for you to find yourself on. And like you said, you might look at it, you might not think this is a KO. It's a KO map. It is 100% a KO map. You get staggered, you're done for no matter what. So, yeah, as we're getting into this first game, it looks like we're going to be working with some Orb Ponderer and Bulk Up as the Awakenings. So that should be an interesting pick. I imagine we'll see maybe a fair divide between all of them. Probably lots of Bulk Ups going to the Brawlers here. So we'll see how they can utilize these Awakenings. We'll see the draft here for Nothing Was Allowed.
Yeah, currently in terms of strikers, Vice, Juliet, both very strong for KOs getting banned out here, and it looks like in terms of picks, NWA quickly getting Drakkar, fairly good on core control, probably going for bulk up here as well for some damage. Wand, though, getting two very strong picks for Tycho. Rasmus, again, with the core control, very good, but now also able to cut off a lot of lanes on Tycho, a lot to work with there.
Yeah, absolutely. These are some powerful picks coming out for this map. We'll have to see how they play into it. I'm just doing a quick little head count here, making sure everyone is got their names on as expected, got everything correct. Don't want to make sure that nobody's hiding themselves.
Everyone's got to get their ducks in a row for this match.
Exactly.
Well, I guess I'm curious. We already kind of went a bit into Fool's Wands in the previous match that we casted with them, but what are your thoughts on Nothing Was Allowed going into this match? What do you think of the players here?
Yeah, so right now they are fielding Julak in the goal box instead of Rompi, so there's going to be a difference compared to other weeks. That powerhouse of a goalie, Rompi. We'll have to see. Julak's got some big shoes to fill, and I'm sure they'll manage. But for the rest of them, Big Tilt Renegade, I am a fan of the Renegade. You get
Mm.
that guy, a rune, and he goes crazy. But we'll see. That's not what's being played here today. We'll have to see how well they utilize their pick.
Yeah, we did go a bit into the picks earlier, but we didn't get to finish off the rest of the picks just because getting some homework done. But going back into it, NWA also grabbing Asher and what I assume would be Mako goalie, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to see how Julok runs whatever goalie pick does get going here. It is going to be Mako goalie. But additionally, X Wand is definitely got a lot of powerhouse on their side, but NWA picking up some good speed here with Mako as well as with Orponver most likely. Yep, so
Yep.
gotta watch out for that.
Yeah, as we get into here, we see two Orb Ponderers for the side of the Fool's Wand. Only one on the side of Nothing Was Allowed. That Mako goalie picking that up. So it should make a lot of difference in the goal box. Mako's going to love those cooldowns. But as we get into this game, goal barriers are already open for the side of the Fool's Wands. Renegade and Big Tilt running a clinic on this first point as Big Tilt almost finds the goal there, but Patat, just with great strike patience, does manage to clear it out there. As now the play has developed onto the other side of the field.
Yep, Julok though making quite a good hold of their own, able to avoid two barriers going down. giving NWA a decent advantage against Juan here. But we can't count out Tat and Color Craze. We called out Tat in the previous matches for some really great holds with the Rasmus goalie, and we're going to be seeing that again as it continues throughout this match. Still, though, the offense from NWA not letting up. They're pretty quickly clearing and moving really good into some offense here with Big Tilt Asher. But either way, Core not really too much of an advantage until now. Renegade being taken out here, going to be a really useful power play. Hopefully looking to get the barrier here to prevent the advantage, and due to that bounce there, it is going to be going down. Julok now having to hold, unfortunately. Moving a bit too high up there. The powerhouse not going to prevent Color Craze's primary from taking Julok out.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you ride that goal line just a little bit too finely, trying to make sure you're taking up as much space as possible, and you get gimped by just a little primary setup, and that's how it goes sometimes. But speaking of death and destruction, 2 members are down for the side of the Fool's Wands already. A major power play coming out for Nothing Was Allowed now. Renegade and Big Tilt trying to find something, but Color Craze is actually going to go Color Crazy, taking a barrier off of this power play, almost taking out Renegade in the process. Now Potat running down to try and support this push, not going to find anything except for a nice clear up to Color Craze, who does get taken out immediately now. But Potat and Spooked Altar, not strangers to the power play, are going to try and find something here, but their barrier is going to go down. Renegade and Big Tilt posturing with Julak supporting them from the back. It's going to be cleared out, though, as Spooked Altar and Color Craze are back on this field, ready to make an offensive push.
The offensive push going really strong here, especially through these great passes. Spooked Altar is going to get it through with that X secondary. Tat continuing to use those Rasmus abilities to get around Big Tilt, and it's going to pay off in a big way. Spooked Altar with the famous X rotational move, going to find a really clean hit into that top half. And I mean, after all those power plays, it is quite unfortunate it's not going to lead to a point, but you have to give it to Big Tilt and Renegade for some really great kills there. Hopefully, if they can perform it again for their sake, it's going to lead to a lot more, although not even going to have to kill here. Big Tilt going for that double barrier with the use of the flip there. Great lookout.
Yeah, going to find a lot of that, you know, using all of those resources to the max of their potential, and going to find the goal with the help of Renegade there, getting themselves on the board in this first set. Oh, 1-2 now. They are in it to win it, Frying Pan Man.
That is definitely true out here. Continuing on, though, into this point, generally pretty good hold in the middle, but Color Craze perfectly set up to catch that loose ball. Big Tilt trying to get through, but Color Craze Patat doing a really great work of getting Asher out of there. Spooked Altar now trying to move through, but a great preemptive Mako ult by Julok. Gonna take Spooked Altar out of the equation for a bit, and that's gonna give a chance for Big Tilt to move through. A lot of resources being spent, but not quite, because Color Craze and Spooked Altar both gonna be taken out. We've got another 1v3 situation that is being forced.
Oh my god.
Fool's Wand, but Tat is holding on amazingly. Color Craze getting a chance to move in here. Julok, unfortunately, not enough speed to move back to defend. And now it seems that the play is just continued to switch up entirely. Patat, though, gonna have to hold even more here. Not able to quite do so. An amazing strike war. Resources being spent on both sides to keep the core in there. And it's just, I mean, it's chaos, folks, out here. Which team is going to bring it home? It's going to be Fool's Wand.
It's going to be Fool's Wand. You know, just using that famous X rotational move, that bell ringer, to really just secure that goal against Julak with the stun from the now primary. It's curtains if you're Julak in that situation. Now, as we get into this first draft, you know, reminder, we've got 3 Orb Ponderers on the board, but no Orb Dancer in this draft. So we'll see. Quick Strikes is going to fall to Color Craze. Great pickup for this now character that is going to be in the fray quite often. Oh, looks like a bit of waiting here as they figure out what they want. Perfect Form, Might of the Colossus is going to be picked up. It's going to make that Mako with Pauldrons even bigger, even stronger. And I mean, I will never say no to Perfect Form on Asher. Rapid Fire does fall down to the Rasmus. You know, great just general cooldown pickup, especially when you've got the Orb Ponder. And looks like we're going to get a little bit of Stinger action on Spooked Altar. That could be scary coming out from the X as we get into this next point.
I don't know if you saw that. How the heck did that core move through Asher's ult like that? That was interesting to say the least. But continuing on here, with Renegade out of the play, this power play might be very useful, but NWA holding really well here against Fool's Wand. Going to get the core out there, and it's on Patat to try and hold against the offense, but is going to get a pretty nice clear out. Spooked Altar going to be moving in for the 1v1. Not really going to get a good chance to do so, but is going to get a nice reset. And with Color Craze on the flip, not even needing it though, it is going to move through Mako's ult, unfortunately. Great hit there, avoiding that flip. Color Craze was trying to save it, but unfortunately just held it for slightly too long. Speaking of holding though, Spooked Altar holding Renegade's life in their hands, going to be taking them out. Also going to be whipping the flip, unfortunately.
Oh my goodness.
Due to some very cheeky bounces, Mako's ult not going to be enough to deny that goal, and Fool's Wand going to be starting off with a nice lead here in round 2.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it, but the true culprit of that goal there, after it went through all of those bounces in the Mako ultimate, was just a sneakily placed little Now primary that was sitting in the wings there of the Mako ultimate. So good planning from Color Craze just to cover all of those options. As the options for Julak are looking limited, has to use the core flip to get it out. Already losing a barrier, but Big Tilt already on the offensive does find both barriers and a score here, evening up this set already. Incredibly played from Big Tilt, representing themselves with that beautiful logo.
True that. I mean, great layering though from Color Craze, but just wasn't enough to deny all of that.
Oh my goodness, no way.
Well, an almost self-imposed double barrier. However, either way, Renegades there to pick it up and get a double barrier on their own terms, and that is going to lead to a pretty efficiently acquired goal here, giving NWA a pretty clean advantage coming into here. Although, again, neither team's really ahead on resources, and with Color Craze taking a bit of health here, we're going to have to watch out and see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Color Craze taking a lot of damage, but they do have that catalyst, if I remember correctly. No, just quick strikes. My mistake. They are going to have to burn that flip, though, to stay alive, so you know, plenty of energy to be made back up with those quick strikes as Patat does manage to get it out, trying to fight against this Big Tilt Renegade offensive. Spooked Altar now dribbling, trying to find a way in. Color Craze is going to have to fight with Renegade for the score or the clear. Renegade comes out on top as now the play develops up top here. Spooked Altar going in with that rotational move, not going to find anything. Big Tilt trying to find anything on Patat, throws down the Asher ultimate. Unfortunately, not for you, Patat is just ready for those. Strikes excellently and just perfectly layers their abilities on the Rasmus to be able to get it out in an efficient manner as the play develops up front of the goal box of nothing was allowed, but unfortunate timing with that now. Secondary is going to lead to open goal on their side, but does not matter as Spooked Altar just punches it in.
I mean, you know, this sounds weird, but Patat really just baking the ultimate wedding cake of Omega Strikers with all those layers so beautifully executed. I mean, for that hold was just really well done. Moving in, though, it's 2-2, but Wand here having a bit more of an advantage with the flips that are coming out. We see Color Craze using it to grab a first barrier there. Going to try to move in for 2, but not quite going to get the chance. Amazing strike there around the Asher wall. Patat's going to leave it out of there and use the flip to save the 1v2 situation that's possible there. Big Tilt making great offensive plays, but is a bit low on health. Going to have to watch out if Wand decides to move back on that and try and push the offensive here. Going to be moving it out. Again, amazing layering from both Color Craze and Patat is going to keep both barriers up. Still, though, Julak using the ult to prevent players. It's really good at doing that. Again, though, Big Tilt going to have to watch out. The health is getting lower and lower, and against a Now and an X, you really need to be careful where you're stepping. Great flip there. And an amazing angle, Julak Renegade not quite able to layer against that, and it's going to lead to a nice 3-2 point here in favor of Fool's Wands.
Yeah, I mean, they really turned that set around, you know, from being on the brink of being 3-0'd in the sets, just bringing it back, 3-0ing them back after getting that 2-0 lead. As we get into draft here, it appears that Orb Dancer is going to fall to Patat. who already has the Orb Ponder. So this is Erasmus, who is going to be unleashed on the field. Cannot wait to see how that impacts this game. As Asher does pick up the reverb, great pick, synergizes with that bulk up that they already have. Twin Drive going down to the now. It's always good to have more secondaries, more cooldowns. Speaking of more cooldowns, Mako gets the prime time. Good pickup, more stuff you can do. X also working on that stagger scaling with the Reptile Remedy. And Renegade getting that hot shot. Great pick on Jakar. So we'll see what they're able to do with these new awakenings. Just definitely keep an eye on this Potat player as they pick up all of these orbs and start zooming across the map with their cooldowns and their speed.
Speaking of keeping an eye here, the core moving a little too fast for me to follow, honestly. That is going to lead to a barrier going down on both sides. Potat now really well playing that 2v1 by hooking Big Tilt out of the way, and by getting it over Spooked Altar, is going to get a great second barrier here. However, Big Tilt also getting a great second barrier. Both goals are now open. Going to be moving in to deal some damage. Not quite enough, though. Potat getting around Big Tilt with amazing use of abilities. Color Craze with the Quick Strike already getting flipped, not going to lead to a goal, but being able to pressure that is just so useful. Big Tilt getting another chance here, but not quite. The core moving a little too far towards Potat. The X rotational move to apply pressure, and on top of that, gathering that flip. Spooked Altar in perfect position to just score without much in the way, unfortunately.
Yeah, a great save attempt from Julak there. Would have had it if not for that flip from Spooked Altar. Well played to both players, using all of their tools to their best of their abilities now. As the play develops, one barrier is already down for the Fool's Wands. This is what you want to see if nothing was allowed, but barrier does go down. Julak with a great flip clear does manage to find it out, but Potat with an amazing secondary timing just gets it through Asher's ultimate flip attempt, and Potat now is as flipped. So does Color Craze, and Spooked Altar is going to find us. I'm not sure how that went in, but it went in for the side of the Fool's Wands now. They're potentially at game 1 point.
Yeah, Taiko Temple, really dangerous map. The middle bouncer can help you out quite a lot, but unfortunately in some situations it can also be a bit of a detriment, and in that case we saw the unfortunate hit backwards towards the goal. That's just really hard to contest. Speaking of being hit, Renegade moving away, getting the orb there, but is still in quite a bit of danger, making sure to not lose that flip there. But unfortunately, a few unfortunate bounces there are going to lead the core to come back around the double barrier, and Color Craze Spooked Altar not taking a break, going to be making the most of it, and that is going to lead to another, to the match point here, going in favor of a Fool's Wand.
Fool's Wands do come out of this game taking game 1, so we'll have to see what kind of adjustments are going to be needed to be made here as these teams plan on going to, I believe the next map was Clarion, no?
I don't remember off the top of my head, but we will see. So there you go. It is Clarion.
Yeah, we will be seeing a game on Clarion, so these teams are gonna have to plan around that. Clarion quickly getting up there in terms of popularity of a map. I've heard talks of people saying it is part of the new top big 3 of maps. So we'll see how these teams are going to be able to develop their comps around this map. What awakenings will influence their choices? What do you think they're going to have to... What do you think that nothing was allowed is going to have to do, Frying Pan Man? Stay alive in this series.
It's hard to say. I mean, there was a lot of really good plays there by both teams. Nothing was allowed was, especially in the early rounds, really getting some of those kills in there and leading to some really great power plays, but it was just insane how well Fool's Wands were holding. I mean, Patat has continued to flex their goalie muscles, and even in one of those moments, there's a 1v3. Patat was still holding there, and even Color Craze Spooked Altar really making use of those small interactions, just gain an advantage. Either way, though, I mean, Taiko Temple is a bit of a fast map, and that's nothing, I guess, to say about it. But at the very least, it means that with like even some minor clears and hits, sometimes the core is going to get to those bouncers, start moving really quickly. On a map like Clarion, that's going to be a bit different since we only have the one map with the bouncers. Both teams are going to have more chances to deal a bit more damage there and a bit less chances to make the core fast unless they have awakenings for it. NWA, if they continue getting those kills in there, they may be able to take more advantage of that and make bigger plays because of that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's all going to come down to those kinds of plans and being able to execute them. So we'll see if these teams will be able to bring it out. Nothing was allowed. We'll be able to stick to a game plan that will bring them victory.
Cool.
So,
See.
how are you doing on this nasty evening, Frying Pan Man?
I'm doing good. Excited to see some more games. These teams so far have just been, playing really well, and it's just a lot more fun to see these kinds of games where both teams are able to play off each other, play into these bigger moments. And
Mm-hmm.
even in this case, it was a 3-0, but we had some of those sets go to 2-3.
Oh, they were
We
very close sets.
Yeah, they were very close. So it's much more interesting when you don't know, I guess, the outcome, and I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, absolutely. The 3-0 scoreline might trick you, but these were very close games. It could have gone any one's way. One errant strike at the right place could have, completely rewritten the entire story for either team. So we'll see how they come to this next match. And speaking of next matches, I
Yeah,
believe
teams
we're
are starting
already
to.
getting into there. We've got a Julie band coming out on this heavy impact adrenaline rush start. So that's good. Keep that Juliet out of the hands of Big Tilt.
Yep,
And nothing was allowed is going to get rid of that vice there. I
that makes
believe
sense.
a very esteemed pick of Color Craze. So we get X picked up.
See, I mean, Wand was really running some great X gameplay there, so that is, it makes sense why we see X coming in here.
Must be feeling hot on that pick after the gameplay earlier. So if you're feeling good on a pick it absolutely. 'Cause, I believe that is the rune coming out on to a Renegade. So this should be a very entertaining match. We got this rune legend on their comfort pick, as Finny is also going to be picked up, probably going to be played in the goal box, if I had to imagine, by Julak. So
Mm. Yeah, I've had the pleasure of playing with Renequade's rune now, and I completely understand now. I see the vision, and I'm excited that we do get to see a game here. Renequade's going to try and run it with that.
yeah, and it looks like we're going to be seeing that era picked up. So that X era synergy is going to go strong here. We'll find out how much it's going to matter. We can always tap the sign. Comp doesn't matter, but sometimes you just can't overcome a traditional synergy like X era. We'll see what they pick up in the gold box, and it's going to be a classic since we've had the entire roster released X era Mako comp. So
Yeah, they're running the classic comp, and I mean, it's not too surprising with how old Synergizes, but also, I mean, Patat's just been holding it down. I'm very curious to see how their Mako fares, and also Color Craze with how they're playing midfield. Not surprising that we're seeing the era here with enough speed. Color Craze is going to be really running that midfield game. It's going to be quite an interesting challenge for NWA to have to contest that.
yeah, and it looks like our final pick here is going to be Rasmus. That's I imagine that's going down to Big Tilt. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Big Tilt's Rasmus game, but I'm sure comfortable enough to pick it here. So we'll see how it performs out on this Core Strike field when we get into the Clarion test chambers. Oh yeah. Which one is your favorite variation, Frying Pan Man, in Clarion?
Of the test chambers.
Oh yeah.
I always know which one's my least favorite, which is, to be honest, the bouncers, because I just like, I don't know, I like the Taiko bouncers more because they're more spread out and like they got the cooldowns. I can deal with those. The Clarion bouncers though is just like, I don't know, it's a bit too much for me. Favorite variation though is kind of hard. I guess it would be. I'm trying to think, like, from a goalie perspective, which one I actually like defending, and like, I kind of don't like defending any of them, but they're like all fine. I guess the Atlas Expanse one's fine because if you can finally get it around, you just pop the Expanse yourself, and it makes it hard for the other goalie
Mm-hmm.
to find lanes to get out. But I guess the same thing happens to you, which I guess feels sort of fair in like a sense.
Yeah, it's a very fun map with lots of variations. If you can find the one that, like, tickles your fancy, like you popping that Atlas, expanse thing in the middle, good for you. Good for you, Frying Pan Man. As we are now getting into this game, this could be the series point for Wand, as if they take this game, so nothing was allowed, are going to have to fight for their tournament life here. So hopefully this team can pull through and we might find ourselves on a game 3. But that's for the future. We're getting into game 2 now, and it looks like we've got 2 heavy impacts for either side of the team and an adrenaline rush picked up from Rennequade and Spooked Altar. So we'll see how these cooldowns are going to be. Both of these very cooldown-oriented awakenings, and ones that also lend themselves to damage. So we'll see how much of a difference that's going to make in this game on Clarion Test Chamber.
Speaking of damage, we're starting out here on the big buff version of the map. Really good for these players that want to be, in other players' face and dealing that damage. Although speaking of that, Spooked Altar is just going to be moving in with some great X abilities there to get it through. Big Tilt, though, making a play of their own Color Craze. Great Shrink there to try and get Big Tilt out of the way. And again, amazing layering by Tat is going to move through. Julok almost getting that clear there. Color Craze moving quickly into position to get it through, and that's going to make it a nice first point here for Pools 1.
Yeah, that layering and the management of your cooldowns during that layering is just so important. It can make those plays all the more possible, where you can just catch out a goalie like Julok like that. As now we get into this next point, Spooked Altar is being already taken dangerously low, as is Rennequade. They're about at the same HP right now. Both have evade, as a barrier does go down from a flip out of Julok. Now, Spooked Altar is trying to kill Rennequade, take him off the map, and he's gone. Has the flip, has the strikes, is going to open up the goal. No other tools needed except for a pass to Color Craze to sink it in for a 2-0 lead in this first set for Wand.
Yeah, that was a pretty quick point. I mean, within all that, I gotta give it to Julok and Big Tilt. With the flip from Julok and the hook from Big Tilt, it was a really clean, hit on the first barrier there. But unfortunately, with how fast Altar was moving into damage against Rennie,
oh my goodness,
like we're seeing here, unfortunately, just couldn't do much against the power play. The resources coming out, Big Tilt's trying to move in, but it's not quite enough. Pools Wand taking an early lead here. But Awakenings, they could be changing the tide of the match. Gonna have to see what these teams are going to be grabbing.
It looks like we're going to be getting quick strikes on Color Craze. Well, we'll see. Some hovering, some changes of mind here, change of heart, going for the stacks on stacks instead. And we'll see what this Finny character picks up. Yep, it is going to be quick strike. That is going to be just a valuable pick on the goalie position after all. And peak performance on this scaling character of X or Ponder are going to be picked up by Big Tilt, so that the cooldowns should be flowing. Hot Shot being picked up for this Potat on the goalie position on Mako, and like we're gonna get some glass cannoning on Rennequade. We'll see how long that cannon is going to be activated for, because so far in this match, Rennequade has definitely been made of glass, being taken out every point so far. As we get into this next set, barrier already down, Banish comes out, and a KO already happening.
Yep, trying to switch the tide of the match here. Rennie with a really great, really great plays here so far with Rune, the Banish there, as well as the Pillar to grab that barrier before Julok can move down. Going to be trying to continue the offense here. Big Tilt passing really well to Rennequade. And the ult there from Julok, really good to keep that core in. Unfortunately, not going to have the abilities or the time to contest Altar here. Trying to move through, has the rotation, not even needing the flip, and unfortunately Julok just gets the flip a tad too late to be able to catch that core.
Unfortunately, just caught in the middle of that bell ringer, the rotational move. Gonna stun Julok out of using that flip. But does have it for this next set to offset any mistakes or to push an offense as needed. Now, Color Craze is being taken dangerously low, but Rennequade just taking the brunt of that Era ultimate, is going to be chunked out pretty efficiently. A great strike up into the bumper from Spooked Altar is going to secure the barrier, and the flip's going to keep it in place for him to send it in when those goal guards open up. Wand is already on set point now for the second set.
Yeah, I mean, this comp is pretty well known, regarded, hated, however you want to put it, for a reason, depending on how you feel about it. You know, having that offensive pressure, but also just being able to move so quickly, thanks to Mako and Era, it's got a lot going for it. Either way, though, Big Tilt taking a bit of damage, but not enough to prevent the barrier going down. Gonna spend the flip there, but Renegade and Big Tilt are gonna be grabbing both barriers here. Gonna have to try and move quickly, though, and are going to do so. Really good job keeping pace in front of Color Craze. Renegade is going to avenge Big Tilt here and grab the first point for NWA.
Yeah, well played from Renegade. I'm not sure if that was speed that was given based on the glass cannon, if it mattered against the stacks, but Renegade was able to outrun Color Craze and find the goal there. But there is no outrunning your fate. If you are Big Tilt, you are going to be killed by Spooked Altar. And now it is a power play for Fool's Wand. Spooked Altar does have that flip in front of the net as usual, but barrier is still up. Spooked Altar going to try and find it. Burns flip to find barrier is going to be found, now trying to strike war through the team of Nothing Was Allowed. Not going to find it, but Big Tilt is dangerously low. Spooked Altar as well. Could be anyone's death here, but Renegade is in the bottom, making a huge difference for their team. Is going to find one barrier, does make Potat burn their flip. Ball is on the other side now as Spooked Altar, got enlarged by this Color Craze Era, is going to find the goal off of a nice strike. And that's set point so far for the Fool's Wand.
Yeah, I mean, really good hold there initially, but unfortunately just a bit too much pressure. It is going to give it to Fool's Wand here.
Yeah, as we get into this draft, we'll see. You know, maybe there are some awakenings that can enable a comeback, but this team of the Fool's Wand is looking so strong. Manu is going to be taken by Finney, who does enjoy it and is also a good deny off the Era, but that Era is getting prime time. Rune is taking that Deadeye, and some Deadeye tech for you who might not know. Rune's Pillars, the kill combo, does activate off the Deadeye very efficiently, so good pickup from the Rune player. Going to be looking for those kills. Those Adrin rocks. Potat, though, gets the team player, and this could be a difference maker. Could just stay off of their side of the field forever as we get into this first point of set 3.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of that first point, though, great play there. Renegade trapping the ball with the pillars, and Big Tilt making the most out of the first barrier going down, grabbing that second. That's going to give a really nice advantage to NWA. Going to be trying to play more off that, but is going to be a bit difficult. Julok being taken out, losing your goalie. Renegade trying to move back, but isn't going to be fast enough to stop Alter from taking that barrier. Core now in a bit of a stalemate as Rennie and Big Tilt doing a really great hold there to avoid the lane. Not quite enough, though. Spooked Altar are going to win that strike war, taking it in for the first point to Fool's Wand.
Yeah, you know, this Spooked Altar on the X, he's definitely already scaled now on this third set. Has the peak performance, has the bulk up. What more could an X ask for already? So much damage is going to be coming out. Bellringer taking Renegade to half HP. Big Tilt taking dangerously low. Julak is now getting involved in the play, but gets taken out by Spooked Altar, having to burn the X Maximus. Secures the goalie for their team, getting a power play, but not able to find a score here. Color Craze burning the flip to try and make something happen. Julak is back on the field. Spook Altar, though, is going to find the last barrier as it is open net for Nothing Was Allowed.
Amazing dribble, though, by Renegade, getting it through all those abilities, and is going to get the flip there. Additionally, more notably, Alter going to be taken out of the play. It's going to be a really big advantage not having to deal with all that X damage. NWA making the most of it, going to be picking up a barrier and trying to get that goal. Not quite, though. Cat with the flip, and Alter coming in with the power play for Fool's Wand instead, spending the flip a little too early, but it doesn't matter. Great ult by Julok. Going to throw it in and get another point here for NWA.
Yeah, they are on the board here in this point and in this set. Good for them. Now they're going to need quite a few more of those ultimates to get back in this game, but if they are willing to put in the work, I'm sure it will show, as now Color Craze and Spooked Altar do open up the nets. But the offense is on the side of the Fool's Wands as one of their barriers goes down. Color Crazed, though, posturing for a flip goal, potentially does get banished, loses a lot of HP, does burn the flip, and is now in this corner offense against Julak, trying to find something against Big Tilt. Renegade getting down there in the weeds of it, getting completely chunked out by another Era Tornado as Big Tilt with a big core flip finds the kill onto Color Craze. Now the power play is on the side of Nothing Was Allowed, and a goal off of a strike from Renegade. Well played from Nothing Was Allowed. They want to stay in this game.
I mean, amazing momentum shift. Even through all that's been happening here, they're finding those moments, those chances to get those players out like they were before, and are making the most of the power plays here. I mean, being able to take out, you know, even part of that Era X Mako comp is doing a lot for NWA so far. We'll have to see if they can keep this trend up and bring it to the third set here. Or the fourth set, I mean. Continuing on, though, speaking of all that I just said, Color Cray is going to be taken out. They're doing what I'm saying. They're passing. They're making those plays. Going to have to watch out for some damage. But otherwise, try to play off the power play here. They may get some more momentum going.
Yeah, Big Tilt almost being punched out, though, saves their own life by hooking Spooked Altar just for long enough to get rid of the duration of the X Maximus. Now the power play is over. There is one barrier going down for the side of Wand. They've cracked open the case by one. They need one more as Julak is now defending for their life against Spooked Altar, and Color Craze's offense does manage to break through without the loss of any barriers, but one does go down, and so does two. Big Tilt and Renegade trying to posture off of that core flip, trying to find an opportunity. Unfortunately, Potat is going to strike it out of their hands now. This core is going around and around on this bouncy cast. Big Tilt does manage to find the goal on its open nets for both sides. Great primary from Potat is going to keep it out of their goal. Banish on the Era, and a great bounce down into the bouncer to secure the goal and the set for Nothing Was Allowed. They are alive in this game.
I mean, yo, nothing was allowed, but the comeback might be allowed. Doing some really great plays here. Bringing it back here. Excited to see a set 4. Excited to see if they can keep the momentum going. Getting to Awakenings, though. Julak up first here. Going to grab Catalyst. Very notable pick away from the forwards who would possibly be getting flip. And, you know, goalie, never going to say no to flip here. Still, though, Unstop being taken by Potat, probably looking to deny from Renegade and Big Tilt, you know, so they can't keep themselves alive. Otherwise, though, some damage coming in with some of that prize fighter on Spooked Altar and the Bite of the Colossus on Big Tilt. I believe we're going to be seeing a lot more kills here, so be wary of that, especially with this banish and damage here. An amazing setup is going to lead to Color Craze being taken out very quickly. Ooh. But on top of all that, as I want to swap it up, Big Tilt also going to be taken out, and that is going to lead to one barrier going down in favor of Fool's Wand.
Yeah, unfortunate teleport away from Renegade. Julak, you know, was leaving that barrier out of position for a little bit because he thought Renegade had it covered, but unfortunately not, as Spooked Altar was in the perfect position to just take it, and then a great Era Tornado setup from the bottom is just going to secure this goal, the first goal of this set for Color Craze and the Fool's Wands. Now we're getting into this next one here. Julak, Renegade going to be going for a little bit of that goalie midfield synergy to get it to Big Tilt, who does manage to find a barrier for their efforts. Spooked Altar in this backline, trying to disrupt, trying to get damage on the Renegade, who is going to get away. Now Big Tilt misses the strike, but it might be good enough since Renegade is in position to receive that core. Does have to teleport back to receive the core once more. Great core flip coming out from Julak is going to secure a barrier for their team, but now the offense 1v1 Spooked Altar versus Julak. Julak comes out on top with the help of Color Craze, who does manage to get the big Era thing in the center and become a giant Era, but one barrier down now for the side. Two barriers are gone from Nothing Was Allowed, and now it's open goal nets on either side. Frying Pan Man.
That it is. Color Craze, though, going to be looking a little low on Stagger, and that is going to lead to a downfall here. The great banish here from Renegade going to take Altar out of the play.
No!
Unfortunately, the core moving a little too fast through the middle. Julak is just not quite ready to receive. They were trying to play that top side to provide some assistance, and that is going to lead to the second possible match point coming up here for Fool's Wand, unless NWA have something to say about it.
Yeah, that is not what you want to see happen if you're NWA. But this might be what you do want to see, as Big Tilt and Renegade are going to be posturing for this barrier. Do find one, unable to find the second now. Color Craze and Spooked Altar are ready to take their turn. Julak with a good strike, though, is going to keep it out of the center, and both of their barriers are going to be alive. Color Craze, though, finding a cheeky little strike in the goo, finds one barrier now. It's either team's chance now, as Renegade, though, does find a great rune primary to open up this goal. Julak, though, just caught out by Spooked Altar, who's beating him up, sent him to the Shadow Realm. Now Renegade and Big Tilt are going to have to make something happen on this power play. Spooked Altar burns the flip, is fighting for their lives, as now the offensive could be going on, pops the evasive to try and stay damage free. Renegade with a great core flip up to the top, also burning Patat's core flip. Incredible find by Renegade and Big Twill.
I mean, they're holding this better than professional rock climbers at this point. NWA, despite everything, just finding those sweet, beautiful chances to continue the pressure and make the hold back, and might have to do it again, as unfortunately both barriers going to be going down, trying to find the kill on Color Craze, but just going to miss it, although Color Craze still going to have to watch out moving forward. Continuing the play here, great ult here by Julak, gonna move forward through Altar, and Big Tilt trying to find both barriers, but is going to do so, as I was just about to say, not quite. Still though, gonna have to watch out. Altar moving a bit fast up. Renegade gonna have to get through Color Craze and also through Altar's Fist as the X kill comes out. The flip amazingly used to try to continue the play here, and is gonna continue holding as Renegade is just about to come back, but not quite fast.
And I mean, those Era Tornadoes have been, well, I mean, I've been singing their praises, but definitely a very strong tool that the Fool's Wands have utilized. So much has been gotten off of those tornadoes this game, just expertly played from the side of the Fool's Wands. And, you know, nothing was allowed. They really tried to lock in there, you know, we could see it. And they did what they could against this, you know, infamous comp, and you know, for a second there, it looked like they had a chance, but Fool's Wand will be taking this series 2-0 against Nothing Was Allowed.
Yeah, I mean, amazingly played. You try to tell me that NWA wasn't fighting to the bitter end. They were, you know, I'll fight you. They were making it work. They almost brought it back with some of that amazing momentum, but Fool's Wand countered with some amazing plays of their own, and these matches just get so chaotic with how many KOs are being put out on both sides. You just have to be available to defend against those power plays, and I think we've seen pretty handily both teams know how to do that, although just sometimes the pressure just a bit too strong, and Fool's Wand has got a lot more of those chances to play the core in there.
Yep, I mean, sometimes that's just how the games go. The other team has just a bit more pressure than you, and it's more than you can handle. Well played from both teams here. Hopefully, Nothing Was Allowed will stick around, and maybe we'll see them next season. Yeah, but speaking of seasons, you know what's coming up next? Omega Strikers Amateur Series Season 7, and it's week 4. So, you know, I hope you all stick around to watch some of that great OSAS action, some of that good stuff, you know? We love OSAS around here.
That is exciting. I believe it's the final weekly of the season. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It very well may be the last week to qualify, Frying Pan Man. So stay tuned. This is a big week if you are an OSAS viewer. And believe me, I'm going to be watching. So I hope you will be too.
Yep. But you'll have to hear some other people talk about it coming up soon. But thank you so much for joining us on some great nasty gaming here. And yeah, we'll catch y'all back soon for some OSAS. So stick around.
Yeah. Bye-bye. I've been Psykeen. This is Frying Pan Man. We love talking with you. Bye.